move through the word and then illuminate all our hearts that we may be different people within. Thank you very much. That we may be an informed people. Information, good information brings about good inspiration. And good inspiration, eternal Father, when it is worked upon, eternal Father brings joy and gladness at the end of the day. Let the information that we have coming from your word bring good inspiration into the hearts of every man and every woman that has come to this meeting. Let us not be the same after listening to it. Just like it was last night. I believe that nobody is the same. Glory be to God. In Jesus' name we have prayed. And amen. The title again, as I said, is the very next thing. And I said it is complementary to the message, the treatise of last night, titled, Say Not Ye, There Are Yet 4 Months. And in that treatise of last night, the person that God used to document it, to x-ray the whole thing, showed in clear terms what has been and what has been in operation. You made us see from Revelation chapter 13 the two beasts, the one a political one and the other one ecclesiastical, that is religious. And then he showed who the political one is, how that it has already been formed and is working. Every department of it is on ground, now waiting for the ecclesiastical. And that ecclesiastical one is the one that the Apostle Paul talked about while he was addressing the Thessalonians in his second epistle. That man of sin, that other Christ, Antichrist, the other Christ, the false Christ. He said some things that are very clear about his manifestation. And we are going to read. And I pray you, when you are listening to a lecture, either academic lecture or a story that is meant to make impact in your life, listen to it attentively, piece things together as you are listening. So long as the person that is giving the lecture is giving it without ambiguity, follow in the things that he is saying and use your mind and use your brain and piece things together and take note of what you should take note of and make decisions in the course of the lecture as to what you must do at the end of the day as a result of the information that you have received. If it is not that way, now the lecture is wasted, the information is wasted, and God would not have his information to be wasted. So, you can open your Bible to 2 Thessalonians. We are reading from chapter 2, verse 1 downwards. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Jesus, and by our gathering together unto him. That is an information, a piece of information. We plead with you by the virtue or seeing that the Lord Jesus Christ is coming, and we are going to be gathered unto him. We beseech you because of that. Now that verse 1 talks about is referring to his coming in the air, descending into the air, and we gathering together unto him. Please, as I talk, you look to my direction and get the information. We beseech you by the coming of the Lord and by our gathering together unto him. Now, he said, verse 2, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Now, this verse, this phrase, as that the day of Christ is at hand, should be as that the day of the Lord is at hand. There is a difference between the Lord coming in the sky and we gathering together unto him, and then the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord is a day of judgment. The day of the Lord is the day of coming down to the earth and dealing with every opposition, catastrophically, mercilessly, dealing with the opposition. That is the day of the Lord, the day of vengeance, the day of showing no mercy unto the merciless, the day of showing himself ruthless unto the ruthless, the day of showing himself unkind unto the unkind, the day of punishment, the day of justice and judgment. So that day, whenever you see the day of the Lord, is referring to the second coming, and the fact that he's going to come with 10,000 of his saints, and then it is coming to deal with the Antichrist. We see it in the course of reading down. Now, we go to verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except that come a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed. The day that is called that day is the same day that is mentioned in verse 2, the day of the Lord. That is the day of judgment, the day of coming for punishment. He said that day will not come until the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That is the reason for that day. If you have an opposer, listen to me attentively, an enemy, arch enemy that has been opposing you over the years, and then you have stipulated a time to now confront him and destroy his opposition and destroy him. Now, listen to me. You cannot come earlier than the opposer. The opposer will have first come. Abi? The person that is insulting you will have a first come, and then you come to deal with him. So he's saying that the day of vengeance of the Lord will not come and until the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition. Now he began to explain, he began to now describe the man of sin, the ecclesiastical man, the ecclesiastical ruler of the world, the antichrist, the other Christ, as we have been shown from Revelation chapter 13. Are you following me? That is the person that is being referred to here. The day of the Lord proper, the day of coming to the earth to deal with him and all the people that are with him, will not come until he first surfaces. Now, then he went on to describe him, his characteristics, what he will be known for, what he was going to be doing. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God. Just exactly as it is stated in Revelation chapter 13. Put your finger there and let's go to that Revelation chapter 13. I'm reading from verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he walketh, maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. This very one, this ecclesiastical one, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast would be killed. And verse 16, he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark and the name of the beast on the number of his name. And then it described, it showed the number in the last verse. So this is that person that is being described here in 2 Thessalonians. And return to 2 Thessalonians where your finger is, and let us read verse 4 again. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God and that is worshipped, so that he as God seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know. Now listen to this, verse 6. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. Now look up. It says, you know what is preventing, what is suspending, what is withholding the revelation of that man of sin. Now, he goes on to say that the mechanisms, the mysteries of iniquity, that is what he called it. And these are the things that were exread last night. Now, here verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. The mechanisms that will bring this Antichrist, this ruler of the world, that the whole people will acclaim and accept because of an extraordinary personality is going to be. He said the mystery of iniquity, the mechanisms, the hidden mechanisms and hidden things, the things that will work it out, they are already in place, that have already been working. Is it today that this thing was written? No. The thing has been working. Remember that you were told that circumstances are the things that are engineering some of the things. Some people know, some people that are being used know that where they belong, but some people do not know. Circumstances, economic circumstances. Some know those people that draft this and draft that belong to the court, and to those secret societies. They know whose agenda they are, whose scripts they are performing. Are you hearing me? But some people do not know, obviously. And so, however, nonetheless, they join, and the thing is working out, is unfolding. Now it says again, verse 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let. Only he who now hindereth, the person that is hindering. Which thing he mentioned in verse 6, and ye know what withholdeth, that he should be revealed in his time. Now it says there is somebody that is hindering, somebody that is letting. When we were reading these scriptures, I think last January, I talked to you on tennis playing. The word let, L-E-T. L-E-T means hinder. And I told you that if you are on the lawn tennis court and you throw your ball up and serve your opponent, and then the ball hits the net before it crosses over, even if it crosses over appropriately in the portion where it should cross over. Is anybody listening to me? You will hear the umpire say, let. L-E-T. It was hindered. So you need to reserve. In table tennis, the same thing. If you serve the ball, and then it bounces here and crosses, but before it crosses to the other side, now it hit the top of the net. The umpire will say, let. It was hindered. So let here means only he who is hindering, who is preventing the manifestation of the Antichrist, the other Christ, the false Christ, will continue to hinder until he is taken out of the way. And once he is taken out of the way, now that man of sin will just appear. And who is that he then? The church of the living God is the one that is hindering. So we are now saying the very next thing, the very next item in the program of God is this removal of he that has been hindering the Antichrist from appearing. No other thing. No other thing. I said no other thing. I said no other thing. Let me give an illustration. Listen to me. You have drawn a feast, birthday feast. You are celebrating 50 years. And then you call your friends. And then you have prepared your entertainment. And then they have finished all the things that you want to serve the people. But the people that are dressing the table have not completed dressing the table, where the thing that you have brought the people to eat will be served. What is preventing the service and the serving of the food is the dressing of the table. Are you hearing me? As soon as the table is dressed and finished, what happens? The stewards are waiting. They don't even need to be given any instruction. The moment they see that the table is set and the people are called to the table, what happens? They begin to bring the dishes. So, as soon as the church is taken out of the way, nothing is preventing the Antichrist other than this. Because everything is set. Everything is set for him to appear. But he cannot appear until the church is removed. Because his appearance is going to be, the first 3 years it will look like a fantastic, but now it is within that period where he is here that God's colossal judgments will fall upon the sons of men, and then with the final destruction that will be at the end of the 7 years. And because God is not unrighteous, he must take away the church before the calamity. In Genesis chapter 18, let's see this principle. From verse 16. And the men rose up from thence, the angelic personalities that visited Abraham, and looked towards Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him that he will command his children and his household after him, and that they shall keep the word of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I'll go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. If not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom. And Abraham stood yet before the Lord. Now listen, and then the argument and the pieces of information, pieces of truth came out from Abraham. Abraham knew that judgment was determined for Sodom and Gomorrah. Is anybody hearing me? And that those angels going there, and soon the judgment will flash out and then consume the people. And Abraham stood before the Lord and drew near, verse 23, and said, "Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge, the righteous judge of the whole earth, do right?" Listen to me. Listen to me. Is it possible for you to imagine Abraham being more righteous than God? Are you hearing me? Can you imagine Abraham or you yourself being more righteous than God? Now let me ask you a question. In your right mind, you are righteous, you have a sense of justice. Now you come to a place that you have detailed people to do some work for you, and you have observed from a distance, from a hidden position, two individuals that have been diligently and conscientiously engrossed in the work. No complaint. But you saw some other people that they had their hands in the work, that they were not doing it. They were even talking against you. And then you now decide to now give to every man according to his works. And you decided that all these people that didn't do the work as they should do it, that you are going to pay them only 1/10 of the money that was agreed. Now let me ask you, will you let that thing happen to those two people? You will not. Your conscience will tell you, spare these two people. So that was what Abraham was arguing. And God was nodding his head. Are you disbelieving it because it was not written that God was nodding his head? And God was saying, you are right. If I see 50 righteous people, for their sake, I'll spare this place. And then until there was none. Now, you know what? And as the angels went, now look at chapter 19. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat at the gate of Sodom, and Lot seeing them rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and said, "Behold now, my Lord, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways." And they said, "Nay, but we will abide in the street all night." And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into the house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, "Where are the men which came in unto thee this night? Bring them unto us, that we may know them." And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, "I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly behold, now I have two daughters." Listen to me. Now Lot was in the midst of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were lesbians and homosexuals, and not to talk of fornicators and adulterers. That one is like water. But they have turned into lesbianism and into homosexuality. And now these angels in the form of men are visited, and they want the men out so that they could do. And Lord, with fear, knowing that these are not ordinary human beings, said, look, I don't mind bringing out my 2 daughters. Do what you want to do to them, even tonight. But leave these people alone. That was a righteous mind. And then when the angels saw what happened, and they knew that, and now what the information that reached heaven is now confirmed, that these people have gone haywire. These people have gone to the highest of sin. Which reminds me, God does not act very like you act. Sin, iniquity has to fill its cup before he now decisively deals with it and showing no mercy unto them that didn't show any mercy. So these people's cup of iniquity has filled up and was overflowing. And then now they said, Noah as Lot, you have a righteous mind, because you know it is stated that that righteous man vexed his righteous mind with what was happening in his in the place where he was staying. Move out. So we see the principle of God moving out the righteous before the judgment. Anybody that tells you that the church will be there in the tribulation. Why now? Tribulation is an instrument of punishment for sin. Why should the church be involved then? What is the reason? What is the rationale? So, the very next thing is the taking away of the church, so that the Antichrist, the man of sin, will just appear, and then the rest of the things that have been determined will begin to unfold. 2 things. One is that we get ourselves ready for that ongoing, that is being taken away. 2 is to be instrumental in his hands in getting the others ready. Look, anybody in the Watchman that says, I am a pastor. You see, there are many people that are pursuing vanity, pursuing nonsense, pursuing the things that don't mean anything before God, yet occupying positions that mean something before God. I hear that again. You pursue things that mean nothing, that offend God. They are your priority. But you occupy a position that means something to God. Please, let us be warned. God would have you and I to know that the 2 things available for us, no option, is we get ourselves ready, our house ready. Your nucleus, your family, your wife and children, your church, yourself, and then we as a body now get other people ready. Bring multitudes of salvable people. I said salvable people. We get them ready according to the arrangement and according to the program, according to the item in the program which belongs to us. listen to me, we are not responsible for Christ's coming. That is, you are not the person that is going to, we are not the people that are going to give him a telephone call and so he will come in the air. No. Our business is to get ourselves ready and now get the other people ready as he has commanded us. And then once that is done, you don't tell him, come now. You don't tell him that. He knows it. And now he takes the people away. And then the next things will begin. So it means then that on day-to-day basis, you need to check to know what your mouth says, what your mind thinks, what your hands do, where your leg takes you to. The thinking of your mind, the actions of your mouth. That is, what do you say? What comes out from you? What do you think? What habits that you are manifesting? I was telling somebody this morning, listen to me, and I said there are people in church that have a cunning mind. And I explained it, I illustrated it. Crafty mind. And I illustrated it using some pictorials. Now, let me give you an example. I told the person, let us assume that there is somebody that is out there and he has not eaten food. And then you are cooking a delicious food that this individual likes. And his mind is on the food. And he doesn't want to miss the food because it is a favorite or her favorite. Now, there is somebody there that doesn't even know that you are cooking the food. But he knows. And then he comes to you and says, brother, sister, there is a lady there. And this food that you are cooking will be very nice for her. It will build up her immunity. But the reason he is telling you about that person is that you will part with this food so that he can partake of it and take a little chunk and give to that person. This is a crafty person. He didn't complain. You would not know that inside his mind, he is the person. It is because of his own desire that is, now he used this other person to get it. So, or people that take advantage of others, that is, exploit others. You see that a brother is very liberal. A sister is very liberal. And as a result, everybody will leave the things that they can do by themselves, leave their money. They will not spend. And they go to the liberal person. These are not Christians. Christianity is more than I was a fornicator. I am no more a fornicator. It's more than that. I was a thief. I am no more a thief. It's more than that. When you become a Christian, you begin to look inward to see the characteristics that you got from your fathers and your mothers and our parents, and then take them away. In fact, something is bothering me so much. And what is it? How come that somebody cannot see his error or her error? How come that somebody cannot see his error or her error? I can't understand it. I can't understand it. It must be that the person does not stop to think. The person does not stop to think. Because if you stop to think, you will know whether there is envy inside you. You will know whether there is bitterness inside you concerning somebody. If you stop to think, you will know whether you have some crafty methods of obtaining things. You take advantage of somebody. That is, the person is. I've tried to illustrate it. You exploit it. So to your benefit, because the person is ignorant, because the person is liberal. You know yourself. So Christianity, the people that are going to make heaven, are people who look inward. So the things that we are commanded to do is to get ourselves ready and to get our houses ready. The house will include your family and will include the family of the Lord that you are overseeing. And then we jointly now go into bringing Jacob, that is the others, making them ready. This is our responsibility, and this is the responsibility that is not negotiable. This is the responsibility that will cost somebody something. We are going to come to that responsibility that is going to cost somebody something. And we have it. We every fellowship there, we recite it. Isaiah chapter 49. Let's go and read Isaiah 49. Verses 5 and 6. And now saith the Lord, that formed me from the womb to be his servant, for the purpose of bringing Jacob again to him. For the purpose of bringing Jacob again to him. Jacob is the church. Oh, what I don't understand. What a privilege. What an indescribable privilege that the God of heaven should look on a group of people and say to them that I have taken you even from when you were not born, and that you should be my servant to bring the rest of the people back unto me. That is the people that are straying, the people that are having now wrong opinions, wrong doctrines, wrong lifestyle, and then you walk on them until they return unto the Lord. What a thing that cannot be described. What a thing that somebody should say, I understand it, and I am ready to do whatsoever that is necessary that I can do in order to let this thing come to pass. Clear information. Clear information. Listen, I don't understand some people. I have said to us numerously that it doesn't have to be you that God will give the information. It has to be somebody, one person. And then you hear it from the person. Listen to me. May I ask you, was it all Israel that God spoke to and said it is time to leave Egypt? Why then with all the numerous, all the clouds of evidences, why do we find it difficult? If you look from the one, if you calculate, if you people can calculate from the one when this thing began, if you can take your mind back that some person went to some place knowing that God brought him here and remaining there in a place that didn't have any inroad until God created an inroad, and then he began to speak, and then some people gave in to the gospel and became born again. And those people had their eye of going out, and the man said, no, if you go out, you do no right, because if I went out, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't have what you have. You remain. And then the people accepted. And then they remained. And the next moment, he said to the people, do you see that there are some people that have gotten light in various places? We must seek them and gather all of them together. Like play, all those people join hands with him. And then they sought these people, and sought these people, and sought these people. Before you knew it, all those people came together. And it became a formidable organization. And then that formidable organization now was facing a bulwark of religious error. Facing a monument of religious error. Tough religious error. Powerful religious enclave. And the people feared for their lives. And the man said, no, there is no point fearing. God is with us. Now you will see that they will not be able to do anything, because they have error. We have truth, and truth must destroy error at every point in time. And the people believe this man still, and they see the thing unfolding until now. Now, is it now that the man will now turn and tell lies? I don't understand the people. I don't understand why people have difficulty in taking the vision. I don't understand it. Because they took it all this while. And then the thing worked. And they see it working. The Lord can now come in the air. 1, get ourselves prepared. 2, get the church prepared. Now, and they are all simultaneously, they are supposed to be simultaneously done. Am I here? Are you hearing me? Simultaneously executed. This one is going on, this one is going on, this one is going on. Now, and then be a means of life to the Gentiles. Which means that even in the present situation in the world, there is still light that can shine in the way of the people that are wallowing in sin, and through our light they come to the Lord. That is what he's saying. That is what he's saying. Listen to me. I was telling the same pastors that a few days ago, the thing that I'm going to say now may make you laugh, but it's true. A few days ago, I left the office around to 12 midnight, going home. And then, as we came from the street where our office is and hit the major street, as we turned to go, now behold, praise the Lord. Now behold, the night girls, the night crawlers, the prostitutes. And then one standing there in their skimpy dresses, short. And one standing there, and then we passed. As we were going, my mind began to walk. I began to think. And in the midst of the thinking, something began to make me realize, that these people and many other people that we see that appear to, in our eyes, that they have been lost forever, that they are salvable. Something began to make me know that. And I was saying, these people are salvable. These people are salvable. And as I was saying it, my mind went back to 1970 when I went to Lagos. Are you hearing me? Let me now say the thing that may make you laugh. I was working for some man from my town. And he was a transporter, and he had employed a number of us as delivery clerks. And then he had a lot of trailers in those days. And then he had a jeep that he used personally. And then many times when people said the secretary to the man, if he close work late or anybody close work late, now the driver will take that jeep and take the person home. And we who were living in his house will join the driver. And I had this nature of I make somebody if anything please me, I will say it and I will do it, even though I wouldn't know how the person felt. Are you hearing? And then as we'll be going on the streets of Lagos, and then we are returning, and when we come to the bus stop, and then some ladies will be on the bus stop looking for bus or looking for who will pick them. And then as the driver driving the jeep comes, I bring out my face from the window, and then I will shout unto those ladies, "Baby!" I said he's going to make some rumples. Yes. It pleased me. What I said pleased me. Whether you don't like it, that is your cup of tea. The driver is already going. But this man that was teasing people, by that time, the salvation something has not begun to work in me. Are you hearing me? It had not begun to work in me. I pleased myself. That was what pleased me. Then I was saying, so this man was salvable by the time he was making baby. Do you know that some preacher at that time might say this one will end up in hell. some uninformed preacher will say that. And that is what we are doing. You see them, you think that they are unsalvable. You didn't hear the testimony of our pastor in Port Harcourt as I was challenging them. He said he makes them go out with our materials, going to everywhere, to the market, to the schools, and giving the thing free of charge. And then a lady went to the mortuary where big men put their dead. Very the next door to our Port Harcourt church. And then went there to distribute the tracts and to tell the people, now that we would not want any person to leave this world and then cry the cry of the damned. And then they will give the tract, the cry of the damned. And then the person that is in charge of the place charged and said, all these people that left to Catholic Church, what are you doing here? And then the lady calmed down and said, we didn't leave the church. It was because of the truth we were preaching that they drove us away. Now some woman was standing by as this lady was responding, and the other person was charging. And then at the end of the day, this other woman said, I want to hear. And he visited the woman and now preached and read the gospel. And the woman fell down weeping. And wept and wept and wept and said, I'm coming to a fellowship. And I was told she came to the fellowship the other day, then before they came here. Now, who would know if no action was taken that the woman was looking for truth? That is salvable. The problem we have today is the problem of people who have lost their what do you call it? They have lost what they have. That is the problem we have. Multitudes of the people are salvable, confused because of the wrong signal that is being given by many churches. Did you hear me? And so they don't understand. But now sit somebody down. Didn't you hear another testimony that took place in Lagos, in one of our locations, where a man came, he had invited his brother, and then they came there. But they have been going to churches, and after listening, they found that these people are in a different world. These watchman people. What you are saying is not what they are saying in any place. Are you hearing me? And of course, they got convicted about the truth. Now, if that person did not invite this person to church, how would he have this encounter? How will he be exposed to the truth? There are multitudes of people that he said, and then that thou mayest be the means of light to the Gentiles, and he said, and my means of salvation unto the ends of the earth. May I inform us, if you refuse it, to key into this, you are calling for his derubing you. You are calling for trouble. I am informing you. It's not that I wish you evil. You are calling for trouble. What you have heard is true, that I could be saved. By the time I was doing that thing, the work of the Lord had not begun to happen in me. Now I'm seeking to be saved. The person that activated it only wrote me a letter. only wrote me a letter asking, don't you know that Jesus Christ is going about in the world seeking to save sinners? That was what activated the quest that had been there over the period. You know, listen to me. Previously, you find us praying and marshalling out the people for evangelism, and before we go out for the evangelism, we are praying and praying and praying and praying, wanting to be filled with the Holy Ghost so that our words will carry wings and then reach the hearts of the people. But no more. But no more. But no more. Night vigils would have been undertaken prior to evangelism, and we are saying, Lord, fill us with your spirit, so that no person, anybody that we talk to, that person will not have any chance. He will yield to the gospel. But no more. Does it then mean that God has packed up? Listen to me. Don't remain in the seat where you remain without coming back to this thing. Did you hear me? Now, when I am done, I have 3 more talks to give. One is talking about who will go for us. That is intended to give you opportunity to say, now, let bygone be bygone. Is anybody listening to me? That is intended to give you opportunity to say, let sleeping, let the days that the locusts and the caterpillars are taking a toll on my life, let them be gone. Who will go for us? Now, after that, I'll show you the resources that are determined for those that will go. You know, come and tell me, there is a lot of cancer awareness. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to have cancer. You have good mind. But why should you not have cancer and die? Why? Why should you not develop hypertension and then diabetes and die? Why? You must have a reason. Otherwise, you join them there. If you are lucky, okay. If you are not, kills you. You must have a reason you should be in this world now. All the people that are living for themselves, don't you see that they are living by chance? If they go out and come back, good luck. If they go out and then come back, their life is not guaranteed. Am I right or wrong? Then why should their life be guaranteed? Why should their safety be guaranteed? Some people, I'm sorry, if somebody should develop an attitude that I'm talking, this man of God is talking and is hitting you, and you did not change, and you did not make you did not make haste to change. Listen to me. We had a very vibrant fellowship in Israel. And then I visited year after year. And then I began to warn. I began to tell them, if you don't listen to me, God is telling me that if you listen to me and follow the program of the Lord will keep you here in spite of Israel's policy. God will keep you here. But if you refuse to listen to me, that God will command the immigration police of Israel and they will carry all of you away. They thought it was a joke. From time to time I said it, this is what the Lord is telling me. And then they thought it was a joke. Before you knew it, Israel enacted a rule, and then the immigration police pursued every person and then took them all away, and church closed. There was an individual, and I think he is here. And I called him out. In one of the fellowships, I said, come out, come here. Don't ever try to leave this place. God wants to use you in the Middle East. Don't ever think of leaving this place and to go anywhere, go to Nigeria or anywhere. Did you hear me? Go back. But shortly, I was ministering in Lagos. And then they said that somebody wants to see me, that the person came from Israel. And then I sat down and he came. He said that, Daddy, I have returned. I said, okay. I don't know whether he is in the meeting or not. I would have asked him to come out and testify what he saw when he came back. All his money, God took them away. All the things that he wanted to do, no chance. And he came back, said, I want to return to Israel. God said, why did you come back? How can we be in this kind of situation and people will have the guts to be feuding, to be quarreling? Woman cannot greet another woman. I was told by a pastor, because I was asking him, because of some things that filtered into my ear. I said, so lady that is with you, I heard that he's giving you trouble. He said, yes, sir. And he explained everything. And then said some things. He's not in talking terms with some people. And that he's not in talking terms with me. And one of the days that he was going to fellowship, pastor was going to fellowship and driving. And then saw a lady that is an officer in the church. And then stopped to enter so that they can carry her, give her a lift. He said, no, go your way. Didn't enter. And I was asking him, was he going to church? He said, yes. Think about the minds that you carry. You cannot afford to be at loggerheads with anybody. You cannot afford to be fighting for position. Pastor, you cannot afford to be saying, I can do more than that person that they have made a district pastor. If you have that kind of life, you are not my child. Because that is alien to me. I am not, look, if anybody is leader, oh, praise God. I remember, I tell you, when I was in Enugu and I was under somebody. And then the person, I had told you before, he had arranged crusade and outreach to Abakaliki from Enugu, weekend. And they are marshaled out, every one of us. That was my first time going to Abakaliki. And then we went to camp, hired a place for the meetings, Bible study. And then we went camping. And I found that the meeting began Wednesday night or so. And we had Bible study sessions and other sessions. I was not featured. But I was a worker and I knew what everybody knew what I could do. He didn't tell me anything. And I didn't bother myself. The only thing that I was thinking is there any hidden sin that God revealed unto him? that I do not know about that made him not to feature me? That was only my concern. The first Bible study went, a second, a third, the next day. I didn't bother myself. My colleagues were teaching. He didn't tell me anything. It was on Friday night or Saturday morning that he came to me and said, Brother Aloysius, you are the person that is going to preach the crusade in the open crusade this evening, this Saturday, and tomorrow night. That is his program which he drew, but he didn't tell me when we began. Listen to me. If I had run to town, if I had picked my phone, even though there were no phones then, if I had picked my phone and said, come and see, hear me be in a church. That is what people will do today. They will call somebody in Lagos. Something don't spoil for watchman. What is the thing that spoiled? You see this man. Who is the man is calling man? He is his pastor. See this man. That we went for this place and he's putting people that came yesterday. People that are not up to me. And he's putting them. And now neglecting me. Something don't spoil for watchman. They are now pushing away the old timers. And he will be full of talk. And some stupid person that he spoke to, we believe him. Did you hear what I said? Some foolish person. You hear him, you believe him, he pollutes your mind. You carry part of his sin. You don't know what transpired. And you believed him. But I didn't say A or B to anybody. I didn't get offended. And when he now told me what to do in the evening, I rejoiced. I said, thank you, Lord. I don't have any need for restitution. If I had murmured against him, there would be need to say, excuse me, sir. I need to do some restitution before you go for that preaching. Some people, you hear it, yet when we go, we begin to quarrel. I should be district pastor. I should be that same pastor. Long ago, somebody wrote me a letter from a diocese and then said, all the people that were brought to that meeting was said here. I called for that meeting and asked the same pastors to bring the so people whom they consider that they are qualified for so thing, to bring them here. And then they brought the people. And then somebody wrote me and said, all those people that were brought from our diocese, I am better than all of them. So he felt marginalized. And soon, some spirit began to speak to him that he has another ministry somewhere else. You see, when you begin to err in your mind, that is the time revelations will come. And the revelations will be fantastic. What did I say? What did I say? Fantastic. In fact, you will see the angel talk to you. But it's not the angel of God. The angel of darkness, they know what was going on in your mind. They know that you have erred. They know that you don't belong to this man again. They know that you should be out. And therefore, the next moment you dream a dream, you see visions and they come saying, you see yourself as standing on a pinnacle and then the whole world is waiting for you. Man of God is appearing. And then you woke up from the dream and went to some person that doesn't have understanding and said, God is giving me ministry. And you shared it, and the brother or the sister said, fantastic, it is true. It is true. Can't you see that they are marginalizing us here? Can't you see that there is Imo, Anambra, Efik, and Yoruba and Hausa dichotomy in this place? Yes. And then they will buy the something, the rubbish. And the next moment, they engineer you to go out. You have done the bidding of Satan. How many times will I tell you that everybody is not a professor? How many times will I tell you? Before they make you a professor, is it after that you have lectured in the university for 2 years you become professor? Do you know that professor is not necessarily by qualification, it's by merit, by experience, by what you have passed through over the years, teaching, lecturing, knowing this and knowing that. So they don't become professor of medicine with MBBS. But everybody that read Bible and knows John chapter 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world, now he becomes a professor. I am a teacher of the Bible. Rubbish. Teacher of which Bible? Do you know the way of God? Do you know that God? Do you know that God, that God speaks? That is, I am coming. And God can say, how do you say it? I am coming. I am coming. God can say, coming am I. Did you hear what I said? I am not making you to laugh. I said God can use okwas. Coming, I am I. What's the meaning? What is the meaning? You will not know the meaning unless you have known his ways. So, let us stop all the feuding, all the quarreling. Let every person appreciate the other person. If somebody, you see error in somebody, please don't tell another person. Go to the person. If he is your senior and you see that you cannot, if you go to him, there is a way. You pray for him or her. First, pray on and on and on. And to your surprise, you might discover that the Lord arrests the situation through another means. To your joy. If it's your junior or your equal, you can go to him and say, sister, this character is not good, though. Brother, this character is not good, though. It's not a Christian character. Don't go to tell another person. And if you say it that way, he might, if he's a humble person, he will say, bro, thank you very much. So, aspects of what is required. Preparation of ourselves, preparation of others, and bringing the salvable that are there in their multitudes. And then as we go engage in our work, while we are doing it, in the process of doing it, that trumpet will sound. What a glorious, oh my Father. He said, and he says, now said the Lord have formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious. What a glorious people there will be and there are who engage in this very next thing. who engage in things that are going to facilitate this very next thing. What a glorious people. What a glorious individual. Now, as leaders of the people, I do not need to tell you what to do. This information is to tell you what is expected of us.